you know what? Today I'm really thrilled because Sarah's given up some of her time for us to have a catch up. It is always lovely to catch up with Sarah. And my deepest hope when we set this up, which was before Christmas, was that we were going to produce a video that was evergreen, that we were going to talk about the importance of social media and how we were using it and all of the challenges that 2020 was, and looking forward to all the wonderful things of 2021 and how it was going to be an evergreen kind of nice piece of content that would sit there forever. But actually it is, I think that the events of the last 24 hours or so has meant that nothing that is created in the next week is ever going to be evergreen, because all we're going to be talking about is, oh my Lord, shock horror, we're in lockdown. And as I said to my daughter yesterday, I think we will be in lockdown until we're in shorts and t-shirts, to which her immediate response was that you or me? And I went, not you, honey, because you'll be in shorts and t-shirts in March. I'm not in shorts and t-shirts until it's actually warm. But yeah. So tell me a little bit more about, I know you well, but tell others that are seeing you for the first time a little bit more about you and what you do.
Okay, so I am Sarah Fletcher and my business is called Mushroom Souffle, and we create social media magic for businesses and charities. So the way in which I do that is training and mentoring. So a lot of knowledge transfer from me to business owners and entrepreneurs and their teams, to give them deeper understanding of social media, to give them more confidence, because obviously understanding it means you can actually work out what it is that you're meant to be doing, to help them generate ideas and systems and processes so it doesn't suck their time.
One of the things I love about the stuff that you do, and I guess as only I can, I'm going to be cheeky, because you've done on a number of occasions before, you've done these kind of getting stuff done type events, and actually one of my key hopes for the village and to be running in the village hall is lots of different people running kind of come in and kind of co-work stroke get your stuff done events. Is that something that you've still been doing last year? Is that something you're looking to do again?
Oh, absolutely. So I created something this time last year called Sarah's Social Cafe. And initially, beginning of last year, we could still see people face to face. It was lovely.
Do you remember when you could actually have a cup of coffee? Yeah.
Yeah. So we used to meet in a coffee shop local to me up the road, and everyone would just bring their laptops and we would order a cuppa, sit round a table and basically get shit done. Yeah. And it was really good. And my whole ethos is you can talk about social media until the cows come home. Yeah. But unless you're actually putting content out there, making connections, having the conversations, you're not actually doing social media for business in that respect. So it was about helping people to create time in which to focus on it, because I'm not sure we're all very, very familiar with the whole, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that. Yeah. And actually sometimes it's easier to do when you're around other people who are doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. So it created a brilliant environment for motivation to actually get stuff done. So you'd be sitting there, and we've all got that thing where you start, you pick up your phone and you're just like, just have a little scroll of Facebook, and then you look around the table and you're like, everyone else is working. Carry on. Your little fingers start going again. And it's also, so I did that, and then of course lockdown kicked in last March, and I just took it online, and it went from being a monthly thing to a weekly thing, which I ran last year, and we will be running it again this year.
Right.
And on top of that, that's everything that I do with the people that I work with as well. It's about encouraging them to actually take action. Yeah. I don't do just the theory. No. This is about, right, now we're going to implement. Now we're going to make this happen. Because this is when the questions pop up. Yeah. This is when you come up against those brick walls and you're literally like, huh? What the hell?
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's to actually do it is how the majority of us learn best.
Absolutely.
everything I do is about encouraging people, poking them in to take action, and then I'm there to support them for that too.
Yeah, no, and I think that makes such a difference. And I'm constantly intrigued. I re-engaged with a small community on Twitter at the beginning of this year, and it's interesting how social media has moved. I mean, before we started this conversation, we had a brief comment about the latest social media trend, and it is just interesting how kind of things are moving, and I don't know whether that's just because we're becoming more visual and less text based. As I say, the whether we're moving to more audio than written. As a dyslexic, that's an interesting move from my point of view. And actually, the level of trust that can be built when we are talking voice to voice or video to video is at a different level, in my view, than that we're doing when it's 140, 240 characters at a time. That shows how old I am. I'm showing my age. Did I just say 140 characters?
So you're really right there, because, and this is why I love social media, just in terms of being able to connect with people across the internet through that screen and build relationships without actually having to meet someone face to face. It's pretty incredible. Everybody has a different style of how they prefer to interact.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to lie, given the option, I will read something over pressing play on a video every single time, purely because I look at how long the video is, and my little brain goes, oh, we don't have time for that. So I will read something because I read really fast.
Yeah.
Whereas I know I've got friends who would rather poke their eyes out than actually read something. They will press play on that video every single time.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it is people do get to know you. They start to, they see your little face, they hear your voice, and it's how you come across, it's how you interact. And we all know that's what people really start to gel with.
Yeah.
And I've actually made some beautiful friendships, both personally and in business, just by using social media. And then I've met them later.
Mm-hmm.
And you just remove all of that, the whole 7 seconds to make an impression. It doesn't even exist.
No.
I literally had people sit down next to me and just look at me and go, oh my God, you're just like you are online.
and isn't that interesting, and isn't that important? And I think that whole "you are just like you are online" is so crucial. And I think that the division between the work and the non-work, it's a bit like when I'm talking these days about my digital village, and I say we're not a business community. We are a community where business is done. There are lots of business communities out there, and lots of people can join them and get what they want from them. And my digital village will signpost to those communities and say, look, if you're needing a great coach, you need to go and speak to this person. If you're needing an accountant, you need to speak to this person. Whatever, it'll signpost to these great communities. But at the end of the day, it will be a community first. It will be people first, and business will come as a result of people. Because I think if we're honest and we stick it on the boiler and put the Bunsen burner under it for long enough, that's how business is best done anyway. If there's a personal connection, we want to do business with those people.
I think that's how I've always worked anyway. I mean, I've been doing this for 12 years now, and I've always been a people first person, and it's always been about relationships and how can I help other people, because that's what drives me. That's what's important to me, and I'm connected with other people like yourself who work exactly the same way, because it's that whole birds of a feather flock together thing. And actually, I don't want to be connected with people who are all about the money. No. Who are all, it's all business and there's nothing else beside it, because for me that leaves life very empty. Mm-hmm. And if you run your own business,
absolutely,
it's not worth it. Where's the real genuine benefit from what we get from it? I used to be, before I ever went self-employed, I was very strict about keeping business and personal separate. And now some of my best friends are people I've met through business networking.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
if you could wind the clock forward, gosh, how far forward do we need to wind it? Oh, I guess 18 months is probably a fair amount to say. What would you like that world to look like? What is the world for Mushroom Souffle, and what does that look like for you?
I just want to have helped so many more people. The one thing last year taught us was staying engaged is the most important thing for our mental well-being at the end of the day. And when we're all sat at home, this is kind of the best way to do it, especially if you run a business as well, and your livelihood depends on it. So I want to come out of this in 18 months knowing that I've made people's lives and their businesses better because they've really engaged with what it takes to be awesome on social media.
Yeah.
And I want them to feel confident that they can do this, and that actually it will have pushed their businesses and their lives forward and made it better.
Yeah.
Rather than sitting here panicking, waiting for life to go back to normal. Yeah. And obviously on the other side, yes, we want normal. My God, I want eyeball to eyeball back. I want to help my favourite people.
Yeah.
I want to be able to go back to doing, face-to-face workshops and traveling around the world, around the UK, around wherever, going to all business events and meeting with like-minded people, and ultimately, but my business, what last year achieved was it took me totally online.
Right. Okay.
In 18 months' time, it will matter. Well, it doesn't matter now. Like, it doesn't matter where I am. I can run my business from wherever I want to live. Which, let's be honest, at the moment, doesn't really matter where you live. You're still inside the house.
Yeah.
Point.
Well, unless your house is next to a beach in somewhere very hot, in which case then it probably matters a little bit.
Really, I need to rethink that. Absolutely. But yeah, I just want to be helping more and more businesses and business owners have that strength, those foundations, those marketing foundations in place, so that they can still be successful regardless of government regulations, pandemics, anything that might come along that can rip the rug from underneath us.
Yeah.
It's making sure that we are all strong enough to withstand that, and we can still do and be what we need to do and be, ultimately. So yeah.
That's really exciting. So, look, I really appreciate your time. It's always great to talk, and I'm really looking forward to sharing this and enabling other people to find out more. And in terms of how people get in contact with you, what's the easiest way of people finding you?
You can find me on Facebook. I'm Sarah Fletcher on there. I have a Facebook group called Sarah's Social Cake, and we talk about all things social media, as well as just being a really awesome community and supporting each other. Or people can find me on LinkedIn over there if they prefer. Again, Sarah Fletcher, Mushroom Souffle. Instagram, Sarah Souffle. Or go to the website and track me and stalk me from there, which is souffle.co.uk.